welcome to my channel. So in the today's lecture, we are going to discuss the third normal form example. Okay, in the last video, we discussed the basic definition of the third normal form. So what we discussed in the third normal form? Any kind of redundancy which is coming between two known key attributes, we were removing that kind of redundancy with the help of the third normal form. Okay, let me tell you firstly that what is the difference between key attribute and the known key attribute. You know, if any attribute is key attribute, what does it mean? It means that all of the values of that attribute is unique or different. No two values are same. Okay, that is the basic definition of the key attribute. And what is the meaning of known key attribute? Any attribute which is not having all unique values. Okay, known key attribute have a lot of duplicated or redundant value. Okay, so when one known key attribute which is having lot of duplicated value is going to determine some another known key attribute, so that kind of redundancy we remove with the help of the third normal form. Okay, so we are given one example. Let's suppose we have a relation in which 5 attributes are given. Okay, we have a one relation in which these 5 attributes are present, and we are determining the various functional dependencies of this relation. Now we have to check whether our relation is in the third normal form or not. Okay, if our relation is not present in the third normal form, then we have to decompose this relation and we have to make it in the third normal form. Okay, so how we work on the normal forms? Firstly, whenever we are given any relation and any kind of functional dependencies, we assume that the relation is already in the first normal form. Okay, it is already in the first normal form. Now, firstly, to make it into the third normal form, firstly we will check if it is in the second normal form or not. If it is not in the second normal form, then we are going to decompose this relation into many relations and we will be making it into the second normal form. So, before moving ahead, firstly we need to find out the candidate key of this relation. Okay, we have to find out the candidate key of this relation. So, let me check of all these functional dependencies. Okay, so we have at the right hand side of all of the functional dependencies, there are 3 attributes present: C, D and E. Okay, these 3 attributes are present at the right hand side of all of the functional dependencies, and when we call any key as the candidate key, when with the help of it we are able to determine all of the other attributes. So if you look at, we are just determining only C, D and E attribute. A, B attribute we can never determine. So candidate key is the key with the help of which all of the other attributes can be determined. So what I will be doing, I will be finding out if AB can be used as the candidate key of the relation. So I am finding out the closure. What does closure means? I am now determining So with the help of AB, we are determining attribute A and B. Okay, if I give you the value of A and B attribute, what are the other attributes we can determine? With the help of AB, I am able to determine the value of attribute C. Okay, if I give you the value of A and B, I can uniquely determine the value of C. Okay, and if you look at this functional dependency, alone B is enough to determine the value of attribute D. So any number of additional attributes, if we add to the attribute B, it would also be determining the attribute D. Okay, so with the help of B, I am determining D. So definitely with the help of attribute AB, we would be determining D. Okay, so now if you look at with the help of AB, I am determining attribute D. If I give you value of D, you are determining the value of attribute E. So there is a kind of transitivity. Okay, so with the help of AB, I am also able to determine the value of attribute E. Okay, so what does it mean? If I give you any value of attribute A and B, we are able to uniquely determine all of the values of any of other attribute uniquely. Okay, this is how candidate key works. Candidate key is the most important key, because everything you want to search in your table, you would be searching only with the help of the candidate key. So AB we are using as the candidate key of our relation, and it is the minimal key. You cannot delete any attribute out of this candidate key. So what is my candidate key? AB. And what are the key attributes I am having? The key attributes are A and B. What are the known key attributes? The known key attributes we are having is C, D and E. Okay, so A and B is my candidate key. Okay, so now what we have to check? We have to check whether our relation is present in the second normal form or not. Okay, so AB is my candidate key. If you look at this functional dependency, the first functional dependency, your complete candidate key is determining some attribute. So this functional dependency is actually valid. Okay, your completely candidate key is determining a non-key attribute. But if you look at this functional dependency, what is my candidate key? AB. AB is my candidate key. So the part of the key, B is actually the part of your candidate key, and the part of this candidate key is determining a non-key attribute. So there is a redundancy here. We are studying the concept of normalization, and our focus is mainly on the finding redundancy, where redundancy might be present in your relation. As combinedly AB is a candidate key, alone A has some kind of duplicated values, alone B has some duplicated values. Okay, B is having lot of duplicated values. Okay, with the help of B I am determining D, and with the help of D I am determining attribute E. So what does it mean? It means that wherever you find duplicated values in attribute B, we will also be finding finding the duplicated values in the D at the same positions. Okay. Similarly, at what positions you are finding the duplicated values in the attribute D? At the same positions you would be finding the duplicated values in the attribute E. Okay. So what does it mean? With the help of B, D and E attributes I can determine. If I give you value of attribute B, we are able to determine the value of attribute D and E. At what positions you see duplicated values in attribute B? The same positions you would be finding the duplicated values in the attribute D and attribute E. Okay. So there is a duplication in these three attributes B, D and E. Okay. There is a duplication present. There is a lot of redundancy present in these three attributes B, D and E. So what does it mean? For one value, lot of duplication is present. For one value, you are placing it at 10 to 20 times in your relation. So we have to make a separate table for these duplicated values. Okay. So if some value is present at 10 positions in one relation A, B, C, D and E. So in the separate table of B, D and E, we will be placing all that 10 duplicated values only once in the separate relation. Okay, so what we will be doing? We are making a one separate table for attributes B, D and E. Okay, so as there is a functional dependency from B to E. Okay, and let me clear one thing. If there is a functional dependency from B to D, it doesn't mean that the reverse of it is right. It doesn't mean that there is also functional dependency from B to B. It is not, right. It may not be right. Okay. So, in this case, B is determining both attributes D and E. Okay. If I give you any value of B, you can get the value of D and E uniquely. So, what is going to be the candidate key of this relation? B. B is going to be your candidate key. So now, what is the other table we are having? We are having, what are the remaining attributes we have? You have kept B, D and E in the another table. So these three attributes, A, B and C, the remaining attributes we will be keeping in this separate table. Okay, A, C and B. We will be keeping it in a separate table. So B is actually the common attribute. Okay, B is acting as a candidate key for this relation. And if we have to make a lossless decomposition, if we want to make a lossless decomposition, then the candidate key of the another relation is used as the common attribute in the another relation. Okay, the candidate key of this relation would be using as a foreign key. Okay, for this relation. Okay, so why do we need to have a common attribute in these two relations? Because it would be helpful for combining these two relations. If at a later point of time we want to join these two tables, so with the help of this common attribute we can combine these two relations. Okay, so initially B, D and E, lot of duplicated values were present when we were just having only one relation. But now we have made a one separate relation for it, and we are just storing only one value. Okay, so we have removed our redundancy. Okay, and this B is referring here. Okay, this B is actually referring here. Okay, so this way we try to decompose our relation. And we also need to take care of the functional dependency preservation. Okay, so A, B to C functional dependency is there. So if you look at this A, B to C. Okay, and what is the candidate key of this relation? The candidate key is AB. AB is acting as a candidate key of this relation. Combinedly, AB is acting as a candidate key. Okay, and B to D and D to E is functional dependency is present in this relation like this. Okay, B to D and D to E. So, if you look at this relation is in the second normal form. A, B to C, your complete candidate key of this relation is determining a known key attribute. Okay. Now let's check if this relation is present in the second normal form or not. So B is my candidate key. It is determining a known key attribute. It is in the second normal form. Okay. When our relation is not in the second normal form, when part of the key is determining a known key attribute. But in this, your complete key is determining a known key attribute. Okay, and this is our known key attribute is determining a known key attribute. So, if you look at it, this relation is also in the second normal form. Now, what we will be doing? We will be moving toward the third normal form. What third normal form says? If any kind of redundancy is occurring when your one known key attribute determines another known key attribute. Okay, so if you look at this relation, it is also in the third normal form, because in this there is no one known key attribute determines some another known key attribute. So this relation is already in the third normal form. Okay, but if you look at this relation, your D attribute and D attribute both are the known key attribute. Okay, these both are the known key attribute. So there is definitely possibility that there might be redundancy present between these two attributes. Okay, known key attribute means there is a duplicated values in that attribute. So there is a chance that we might having a lot of redundancy between these two attributes. Okay, it is not in the third normal form. This relation BDE is not in the third normal form. So what we will be doing? We will be decomposing this relation. We have a redundancy in these two attributes. So what I will be doing? I am decomposing this relation and I am making a one separate relation in which we found redundancy. These two attributes D and E has the redundancy. So I am making separate table for it. Okay, and this D is determining E attribute. So definitely this D is acting as a candidate key of this relation. This D is determining the attribute E. So definitely D is acting as a candidate key for this relation. And we also have to keep one D attribute in this table also, because at later point of time, if we have to join these two relations, so definitely there should be one common attribute. Okay, when we were combining B, D and E attribute, there was a redundancy between D and E attribute. data is present 10 times in B, D and E relation, you would be storing only one entry in the D and E relation. And this D is referring to it. Okay, this common attribute is really helpful for you if we have to join these two relations. Okay, so this way, if you look at it, the functional dependency here is D to E. Okay, so we have decomposed our one big relation into the three relations. If I have to combine these three relations into one relation, the original relation, how we will be doing it? Firstly, if you look at these two relations, we have a one common attribute D. So we will be combining these two tables and we are making a one new table in which these three attributes are actually present. Okay, then what we will be doing? We will be combining these two tables. We have a one attribute, B attribute, as a common attribute in both these relations. So we will be combining these two relations and that relation has the five attributes A, B, C, D and E. Okay, so if we have to join at a later point of time with the help of common attribute, we can do that. But that kind of joining we will be performing with the help of SQL queries, and that joining is done in the temporary memory. Okay, because if you have to join all these tables in the hard disk, then there is no need to decompose this relation. Okay, all these three relations in which we have removed our redundancy are going to be stored in the hard disk. And when at the later point of time we need to join these two relations or three relations, all that kind of joining would be done in the main memory. Okay, and for having a lossless decomposition, it is very important that the common attribute, like this, B is a common attribute. The common attribute should be candidate key in one of the relation. It is very important that you take your common attribute as the candidate key in your relation. So I hope that now you are clear with the example of the third normal form. So if you have any query, I have mentioned my email ID in the description box. You can contact me on that email ID. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you like my video, please like, share and subscribe my channel.